What's going on, everyone? I'm just a typical, average American here today to react and learn about unique British expressions. I absolutely love British expressions. I've learned about some before. It seems like there's some kind of never ending supply of these. I think the reason Americans love British expressions so much is they're so clever. Like, compared to American English, it makes American English seem like boring in a way. All the British expressions that you have to choose from, and there's like one for every situation. They're always funny or clever or like perfect for some weird scenario. I don't know. It's just like I can't get enough of the British expressions. And today I'm in luck because 12 more these British expressions today are, from what I understand, kind of like conversational, informal British expressions. I don't know. I don't really know much more than that, but that's kind of the fun in it, isn't it? Not quite knowing what you're going to get. So let's take a look.
Today I'm going to show you 12 British words that are shortened to sound really informal. Now I know so many of you guys are living in Britain, so this is going to be super useful for you guys. And anyone else who wants to visit Britain, this is going to be fantastic stuff for you because it's real, natural English. This is the English that we actually use on the streets in our everyday conversations. I'm excited to teach you this, guys, so let's get going. Alright, so instead of saying a cup of tea, because we Brits love tea.
Oh, wow. Okay, I wasn't expecting this exactly. This is great. Oh my gosh, this is wonderful. It's like, so these are taking expressions or phrases that you'd commonly say in British life, and this is like shortening them. This is almost like slang or something, or, this is fascinating. A cuppa. A cuppa. Oh my gosh. So satisfying to say as well.
We just say a cuppa. A cuppa. So if you want a cup of tea, you could say, I'd love a cuppa, please.
Wow, these expressions have like a very, very important purpose. They save you time. We don't got time to be saying, can I please have a cup of tea right now? Just, I'd love a cuppa. Love it.
I'd love a cuppa, please. And that means a cup of tea. Now remember, all these phrases are very informal. So a cuppa is really informal, just means a cup of tea.
I've never heard that before. I'm surprised I've never heard that before. Like, just because it's about a very common thing, like having tea, Britain and tea. I'd have thought as an American I'd have heard of this from like a TV show or something, but this is good stuff.
For any of you that have ever been to Britain, you know that it rains quite a lot here. So we need an umbrella. It's one of the most important things that we can have. And instead of just saying umbrella, we can shorten it to brolly.
Brolly. Oh my god, these are wonderful. See, that's another thing about American English. We don't have a lot of, I mean, I'm sure we do have stuff like this. It's just that it's probably so ingrained in my brain, I don't realize that I'm saying shortened versions of things at this point. But anyway, that's beside the point. I don't need to get all philosophical about this. I love... It's like abbreviating words. Brolly. A brolly.
Brolly. So, let's put that into a practice sentence. Oh no, I forgot my brolly. Oh no, I forgot my brolly.
These just make sentences way more fun.
This happens way too much with me. Okay, so one more time. Brolly. The main broadcaster in Britain is the BBC. The BBC, the British Broadcasting Corporation. Now we affectionately term it the Beeb.
The beep. The beep. Oh my gosh, these are so good.
Beeb. So if you hear someone saying, I love the Beeb, I love the Beeb, that means I love the BBC.
This is actually a very useful video, not just for my entertainment, but like, if I was in Britain, I genuinely, even though these words are very similar to the words that they come from, I would not know what someone is talking about if they said brawly, cuppa, beep. It would sound like another language, the British language, if you will. This is actually very useful and also very fun.
The British Broadcasting Corporation. A classically British term, uni. This is
Okay.
short for university. I use uni all the time. Oh, where did you go to uni? Where did you go to uni? Or
This is finally one abbreviation expression that I have heard. This is probably the one British expression for sure on this list that almost all Americans are familiar with. Somehow this shows up in, like, I don't know if it's on shows or movies or other British culture that I'm exposed to, but uni, although I would never say uni. Americans really don't say uni, but we are all aware of it. I wonder why that is.
I'm just going to go see my uni mates.
Yeah.
I'm just going to see my uni mates, my
Yeah.
mates, my friends from university. So uni is a really common shortening of
Yeah.
university.
Yeah.
Another really classically British term, telly. This is short for television.
Yeah, oh my gosh, this is the most classic. I don't know why. This is like when an American is trying to do a British impression or perhaps a British accent. Telly is a word that we will select. I thought uni was going to be the number one here that I know. Telly. Oh, I love telly. All these words are so fun to say. Why is that? Why are these so satisfying? Why don't we have more of these in America too? Telly, uni, brella, cuppa. It even gives me a little British accent saying this stuff. How does that work?
Telly. So, there's nothing on the telly. There's nothing on the telly.
Yeah.
There's nothing on the television. This is a fun one. So obviously in Britain we celebrate Christmas, but we've shortened it to Crimbo. Crimbo, that's right. So are you going away for Crimbo? Are you going away for Crimbo?
Crimbo. Crimbo. Really? Is this common? This is another one I'm surprised that I have not heard of yet. Just because you'd think somewhere along the line in my life I would have heard someone from Britain say something about Christmas, and surely one of them would say Crimbo, if that's an expression for Christmas. I like it. It's funny that Brits, like, Christmas was too much. Christmas was just too boring, too long of a word to say. Crimbo. It saves you like a millisecond of time, but that's not the point. It's fun to say.
And that means, are you going away for Christmas? Interesting one, that one. Christmas shortens down to Crimbo.
Yeah.
Now obviously our national sport is football, and we shorten that word down to footy.
Huh.
Footy.
Footy.
So for example, did you see the footy last night? Did you see the footy last night?
Wow. You see, that's one, like, even in a sentence, even in this context, I would not have known that meant football. Did you see the footy last night? I'd be like, did I see what? What are you wondering I saw? But that could be a lot of things. Footy for football. I'm kind of surprised I've never heard that one either.
Did you see the football last night? Huh. All right, we're going to get really British now. So we have something called an off license. An off license. And that's a shop that sells alcohol. Now,
off license. A shop that sells alcohol. I did not know that. So you have to know off license, which, trust me, most Americans like myself would have no idea what that is, to even have a chance at knowing this expression. Offie? Offie. Sounds like office. Offie.
Now, instead of saying, I'm going to the off license, we shorten that down to, I'm going to the offie.
Okay.
The offie.
Okay. You know, since it does have to do with, like, running out and getting your alcohol, this does make sense to have, like, a short slang expression for. This one actually makes a lot of sense. I was like, why does this deserve an expression? It is like a place where you go and get alcohol? Okay, offie, that is more fun.
I know. It's a strange one, right? I'm going to the offie. So if you want to go and buy a bottle of wine, you could say, I'm just going to go and get some wine from the offie.
Right.
I'm just going to get some wine from the offie.
Right.
All right, now this is a fun one, and one that perhaps isn't that widespread. I don't know if that many people use this.
Huh.
I have used it before, but I'm going to teach it anyway because I think it's a fun one. So,
okay.
instead of saying tomato ketchup, of course you can say ketchup, but you can also say Tommy K. Tommy K. Tomato.
I love these. Oh my gosh, I love this one. I want to use I want to use this one here in America when I go out to dinner with a friend or something. I want to remember this one. That is because this makes sense. This makes sense. Tomato ketchup, tomatoes Tommy, Tommy K. It sounds like a person's name. Sounds like you're saying someone's name. Like, who is Tommy K? Can you pass the Tommy K? That is good. That is gold.
Ketchup, Tommy K. I've seen it used. I've said it myself. Again, I don't know how widespread it's used, but anyway, worth knowing. Tommy K. It's a bit like with mayonnaise. We shorten that down to mayo. Mayo. That's not a specifically British thing, but it's definitely a really useful way to shorten a word. So
Tommy K. That is good.
From mayonnaise to mayo, from tomato ketchup, you can have ketchup or Tommy K.
Yeah.
Or you could have red sauce. Some people like to call it red sauce.
Red sauce. I've not heard of that ever. Red sauce. Tommy K. Tommy K. It almost sounds like a clothing brand or something.
Hey, you choose what you want. People get very opinionated about what's the right word for tomato ketchup. Use the one you want. I don't know. Tommy K, ketchup, red sauce, tomato ketchup. It's up to you.
Tommy K.
Here's an example of how we're making English easier for ourselves. Take the word vegetables, vegetables, shorten that down, and you've got veg. Veg.
I'm surprised we don't use that in America. I'm surprised we don't use this in America, veg. Because that's a very simple one that, like, Americans would understand, like, pretty easily. And it does, like, it is genuinely easier to say veg instead of vegetables. Can you go pick up the vegetables? No one says it like that. Can you go pick up the vegetables? The veg. Yeah, that is easier and satisfying. I want a petition for Americans to start using veg.
V-E-G. Now it looks like veg, but because it's part of vegetables, it's the j sound, so veg.
Right.
So an example sentence, I need to buy some fruit and veg. I need to buy some fruit and veg. Means I need to buy some fruit and vegetables.
Right.
Okay, take the word biscuit, shorten that down, you've got bicky.
Bicky.
Example?
Bicky. Well, this would not have too much purpose in America just because we do not use the word biscuit much at all in day-to-day life. We don't eat biscuits much at all. So although bicky is a fun word, Americans would not have much opportunity to use it. It's another one where it's funny. It's like, let's not all say biscuit. Bicky, much better.
Would you like a bicky? Would you like a bicky? That means, would you like a biscuit?
Okay.
So yeah, absolutely.
Also, if it isn't obvious, it does seem like 99% of these is just putting a Y, shortening the word and putting a Y at the end, or what's in it? Or an A, cuppa instead of cup of tea, instead of umbrella, brawly, instead of a biscuit, bicky. I'm sensing a pattern here, a methodology.
Bickies. It sounds kind of similar, but breakfast you can shorten down to brekkie.
Okay.
Brekkie.
Okay, you know, this might be the one that is most commonly used in America. You will from time to time, when someone is trying to be silly in American, they will say brekkie, and we do all pretty much know what that means, but that would be unusual, and it would kind of be like you're making a joke if you use the word brekkie, but I think it's the one word on this list Americans probably use the most.
So, where should we go for brekkie? Where should we go for brekkie? All right, those were all our words. Now, remember, guys, these are all very informal words because they're shortenings of longer words.
Yeah.
So think about when you're going to use them. I would say that if you are living in Britain and you've got British friends, then that's the perfect opportunity to use these words.
Yeah.
And you'll definitely hear them.
Well, it sounds like it's also useful to just know these words. You don't have to use them, but I really had to be like taught these words, like as if it's another language, or I wouldn't know what people were talking about if they said half of this stuff. I really wouldn't. I don't think I'd be able to like, even though they are just shortened versions of bigger words, some of these I would not have been able to deduce, I don't think. So this was actually very useful for that reason too.
I wouldn't use them in a formal work context. Okay, that would be very silly. But yeah, in informal situations, but with friends in Britain,
Right.
absolutely, I would use them. And of course, if you're not living in Britain, but you're watching a lot of British TV, or you're following British Instagrammers or YouTubers, like Zoella, for example, these are the kinds of words that you're going to hear.
Yeah, exactly. This is useful for just like translating what the heck British people are saying. No, we can understand you pretty well the majority of the time, but if you're saying cuppa or brawly or beeb, footy, crimbo, offie, Tommy K, Bicky and Brecky. It's fun to just say all those words. This is maybe a little too entertaining to me for my own good, but I really had not heard any of these besides brekkie. Even veg is a bit strange to me, but I understand it and I understand the appeal. America needs to do stuff like this more. This stuff is so fun. It's just sprinkles in fun words and it's quicker to say. If you're using them all the time, you save a little time. It's just satisfying, especially with a British accent. These all become even more satisfying to say. I really get it. I really get it. I was not expecting when I was pulled up this video that it would be specifically about British expressions that are words that have been shortened so they're quicker and more easy and fun to say. But I really actually ended up loving that. That was the purpose of this video. That's fantastic. Wow, learned something today. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, feel free to give it a like or leave a comment. By the way, this video that we were watching was by Eat, Sleep, Dream, English. I gotta give him credit for this. This was wonderful. I give it a like. Yeah, I liked that. And if you're interested in more videos like this, me reacting to British culture, stuff about Britain that I've never seen or learned before, feel free to subscribe for more. And until then, thanks for watching, and see you next time.